Tigers and Razorbacks, it's a Locked On crossover. Here we go.
You are Locked On LSU, your daily podcast on the LSU Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Continuing on with the Locked On crossover edition of Locked On Razorbacks, as well as Locked On LSU, as we have Matt Moscona, as well as I'm John Nabors, trying to make it all work in this battle for the Golden Boot.
No, we have John Nabors is what we have. We have you. You don't have us. We have you.
Yes. Just like we would really like to have the Golden Boot back here in Fayetteville after so many years. I know. We've talked about it. We'll keep it here. You can even claim it, and we'll still keep it here. But man, what a situation, Matt, that we find ourselves in. Both teams heading into this one. Interim coach situation. I know that there's definitely different circumstances, but just kind of what's the vibes like going into this game from the LSU perspective?
Nobody cares about the game. I'm sure it's the same there, John. As much as Arkansas fans love the game and the rivalry and all that stuff. You and I have talked about it a million times. The game does mean more to Arkansas than it does to LSU, but I don't think for either fan base their primary focus is this game. It's more the coaching search. The odd, John, just for context, that has nothing to do with Arkansas. I don't mean that as a knock. Like last week when LSU played Alabama, there was zero juice for that game. It was LSU Alabama, which for 2 decades was one of the premier games on the entire college football calendar. It's just people came into this season, John, with national championship aspirations, preseason top 10. Nussmeier and Cade Klubnik were co-favorites for the Heisman. And brother, you're sitting here at 5-4, 9 games in. You're into November. You've already fired your coach. All the hoopla around here. The fans have a certain perspective. The interesting thing for the game on Saturday is can the players look past that and actually get themselves ready to go play a game? Because, brother, I'm going to tell you, man, I think Arkansas presents a really specific challenge that's going to be a problem for LSU on Saturday.
Well, it's funny because for Arkansas, it's the weirdest thing is seeing Bobby Petrino as the head coach once again after everything. But they are the kings of playing just slightly worse than their opponents. It's incredible. They have lost 7 straight games. 6 of those have been by 1 possession. They took A&M toe-to-toe for 1 possession. Mississippi State, Auburn, it just does. Tennessee on the road, doesn't matter. And it's kind of the same thing where Hog fans, they're different from LSU because they didn't have expectations. In fact, they were really upset of the situation. They were upset that Sam Pittman was coming back. And then it just feels like you wasted all that time after all of this. And this particular game, because of the fact that there was some juice with Petrino coming back for a little bit, but then after the same type of losses that you've had, it's kind of like, all right, well, you're out of bowl contention. So what is it? What's the point here? Let's just move on to basketball season. It's that type of vibe to where I think people want to win, but it's not going to be. It's going to be the saddest Golden Boot trophy winning game of all time. It might be.
Dude, you and I talked in Atlanta at Media Days, and I remember it was literally the last interview I did on the last day before I went and caught a plane. And you were wearing a pink Hawaiian shirt, which was lovely.
Thank you.
And you were as low and down on this team in this season as I have. You and I, we've known each other a long time, John. That is as low as I can ever remember you being on an Arkansas season at the onset. I'm not talking about after. In July. So yeah, it's fair. You're right. It's fair to say the expectations were different. But I don't know that we've arrived necessarily at different places. I think it's probably similar for both fan bases right now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's because of last season, Arkansas went. Well, this is 2 years ago. They went 4-8, and then they went 6-6 last year, and everyone was kind of like, "All right, well, Pittman got everything back," and then nothing happened. Yurchek, the athletic director, didn't exactly come out and saying he's the man for the job. There was just no anything. It's just kind of like, all right, business as usual. They lost every player to the portal. It seemed like it just kind of felt like everyone had given up on it and given up on the football program
too. Schedule was brutal too.
Yeah. Schedule was rough. And there was a little bit because, you had Taylon Green coming back and people knew that Bobby Petrino's offense was going to be really solid. But then it just kind of feels like there's a waiting game that they're playing of, right, well, when's the next boost of energy going to happen? Because if Arkansas would have fired Sam Pittman last year, they would have been pretty much the only SEC program, maybe the FBS program that had a coaching opening. And now they're going to be having LSU and Florida and Auburn and all these other schools. I just think that fans felt like an opportunity was wasted last year. And now they're just really scared it's going to happen what happened when they hired Sam Pittman, where Drinkwitz goes to Missouri, Mike Leach, rest in peace, goes to Mississippi State, Lane Kiffin goes to Ole Miss. All these other programs get these other coaches, and you're like kind of just left with the scraps and the remains.
Is LSU, like LSU did a good job last year on Taylor Green, just specifically on the game. Like it was probably, and they stunk defending running quarterbacks, but the one guy that they totally bottled up was Green. And this defense is better, more athletic than last year's. But man, nobody has stopped Arkansas. No, I mean, even I know the Notre Dame, how that game went, but even still early in that game, Arkansas was rolling. Like, you got any feeling like LSU might be able to do something defensively against Arkansas?
Well, see, that's the thing is where, because I agree with you, like the offense and Taylor Green and everything coming off a bye week, you feel like maybe there's some preparation and all of that. But it's like they will against A&M, who arguably might be one of the best teams, not the best team in the SEC. They went toe to toe, and A&M had no answer. But Arkansas didn't turn the ball over, so they really played their best offense. Problem was defense couldn't really keep up. But then they go up against Auburn, who has zero offense whatsoever, and they scored one offensive touchdown. But Arkansas lost by 9 because they turned the ball over. They threw picks, and that's what's the frustrating thing about what this Razorback team is. I know it sounds cliche, but it's like if there's some way that the other team matches up or should be a matchup in some way, Arkansas is going to just give them that opportunity. So I think that, this could I think Arkansas can score. I think Arkansas will get the offense going, but I think it could just be one bad pass by Taylor Green, a fumble at the most inopportune moment. And this team just rolls over and dies. As soon as they make one of those big mistakes, especially late in the game, it's over with. It's curtains for them. So I feel like that could be the situation with LSU. It's not necessarily that, LSU is going to stifle Arkansas, but it's more about, is Arkansas going to beat themselves and then LSU take advantage of it? That's usually how it goes for some of these teams.
LSU's secondary is good. But man, they've been good against the run, John, but they just don't stop running quarterbacks. Like last week, they held Alabama last week to their second lowest point total this season. They held Alabama to 20 points. I mean, Bama didn't do anything against them except for the big play before half that set them up for the touchdown. So, I mean, we'll see about Whit Weeks as well. I mean, Whit had the huge play last year in the game against Arkansas right near the goal line. Harold Perkins is, he obviously exploded on the scene as a freshman against Arkansas in that game there in 22, but it's been a slow season for Perk. Had a really nice game last week against Alabama. Maybe he has a nice game, but man, it's such a terrible matchup. It's hard for me to imagine LSU defense just being awesome all of a sudden against running quarterbacks when they're awesome against everybody else except teams with running quarterbacks. I just think Taylor Green is primed to have like a really big day. And so then the LSU offense, which they're awful, man. I mean, it's so surprising because they have talent, John, but schematically and the offensive, the scheme is bad and the offensive line can't keep Garrett Nussmeier upright. And then we find out on Thursday evening that at Thursday's practice, Nussmeier re-injured his torso. So he's probable for the game, but might need some painkillers or something. So like, how effective really is he even going to be? I'm telling you, man, this is one of those, you know what this feels like, John? This feels like 2021. It's one of those perfect storm. And look, that game in Baton Rouge, LSU is a more talented team than Arkansas in 21. But dude, you let a team hang around, and then that game ends up in overtime. And remember, that was a game where Max Johnson started. They replaced him, went with Nussmeier, freshman Nussmeier. We couldn't do anything offensively, and it feels similar, man. They're going to play two quarterbacks in this game. It just feels so similar to that. It'll probably, morning game, it'll probably be, 55,000 sleepy fans, just swaths of empty seats in Tiger Stadium. It is just going to be a disgusting display on Saturday.
It could be a very
saddest Golden Boot ever.
I know it could be a very drunk game, but for all the wrong reasons. It's just going to be somebody has to win, though. Somebody has to win. But we'll talk more about where these programs are at in the future, both looking for coaches, both wanting to get back to their winning ways, how they do it. We'll talk about that and more coming up next here on the Locked On Crossover Edition with Locked On Razorbacks and Locked On LSU.
Today's episode is brought to you by DoorDash. It's almost the weekend, so it's time to look back and crown this week's MVP on Who Delivered, powered by DoorDash. Just like you can win every Saturday with DoorDash Streaks, saving more every time you order, these players delivered when it mattered most. So let's break it down. For the Tigers, not really much to write home about in the game, but how about Harold Perkins with the strip, sack, fumble recovery there at the start of the fourth quarter, delivered in a big way. And just like Perkins delivered for the Tigers, DoorDash delivers your Saturdays. With DoorDash Streaks, you save every Saturday you order. Stack it up all season, and you could save up to $250, including $100 in DoorDash credits. Order this Saturday, keep the streak alive, fuel your game day, only with DoorDash. Terms apply, promo period through 11/18. And we're brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you missed the start of the game or you want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA.
All right, so final segment here on the show. I am John Nabors of Locked On Razorbacks alongside Matt Moscona of Locked On LSU. So Matt, just looking at it from where LSU's at, because I feel like, Arkansas, they've not had a coach for 2 months, it feels like. Seems like Sam Pittman was eons ago. Doesn't look like Petrino's the guy, but who knows? But for LSU and all this stuff, I know it's chaos and crazy, but just how's the future look? Is there a certain coach, certain names, certain feelings that, hey, it's all going to be okay? Or is people a little bit in panic mode right now because of the uncertainty?
Well, the governor said Donald Trump's going to pick the coach. So I'm sure it's going to work out awesome, whatever they do.
Totally. Sounds like it.
I don't think we're deep enough into the process yet for people to be worrying. But I will tell you, John, it's eerily quiet, especially considering we typically have like a known front runner. For example, when Les got fired in 2016, Tom Herman was their target all along. There was a lot of Jimbo smoke, but it was never Jimbo. In 15, when it looked like Les was going to get fired at the end of the season in 15, they were down the road with Sexton about Jimbo coming over. Like that was happening. They didn't get a deal done. They retained Les. Weird situation. When they fired Les in 16, Jimbo was never the target. It was Herman all along. And then Joe Oliva, who's the worst athletic director in history, just rushed Ed Orgeron to the podium, gave the same deal they were going to give Jimbo because that's what you needed to do. Anyway, 4 years ago, a lot of the thought was Lincoln Riley, but Scott Woodward had Brian Kelly in his back pocket clearly the whole time. I think the target is Lane Kiffin. I think if you inject truth serum into any of these committee members, they'll tell you Kiffin is their target. They've talked to Saban. He's consulting them. He's got a lot of great relationships still here with a lot of people. You have Verge Osbury, the LSU athletic director, and Saban. So Verge was on my radio show. So he and Nick have a standing phone call every 2 to 3 weeks. They talk all the time. So naturally, they're going to call Nick and at least get his input. So I think Saban has recommended Lane. Now, John, I don't know if that's realistic. I don't know if he prefers LSU. I don't know if he wants to stay at Ole Miss, if he goes to Florida. I don't know Lane Kiffin. I've interviewed him like a lot of us have, media days, different stuff, but I can't purport to know what he's going to do. But I think he's the number one target. But if they don't land him, then it gets really, really cloudy about who would be next on the list.
Yeah, because I know with Arkansas, the whole talk has been James Franklin. This is just the connections there, James Franklin. And I think that he's probably a coach that's a lot of jobs would be enticing to him, and maybe that they would be enticing to the opposite side of it too. But I just feel like for with Arkansas, I don't think any Razorback fan is going to be like, oh, they're in the same place as LSU and winning. I don't think anyone's making that argument. But it's more of like they've gone so long since they've been competitive, like they know that they've been capable of. I mean, as I always bring up, Arkansas is 16-48 in one possession games since 2012. I mean, it's just incredible. And so they're just trying to get back to the competitive ways of being relevant again. And I think Arkansas seen Ole Miss with Lane Kiffin, seen Drinkwitz over at Missouri, seeing these other programs like, hey, they do it, so why can't we do it? I think that there's going to be
Why do you think, by the way, answer that question. Why do you think they can't?
Why I think they can get a big coach?
No, can't. Well, like you said, why can't we? Like, why do you think Arkansas hasn't been able to do what you just said? It's an interesting point.
Yeah, because I think from most perspectives that they just don't have a lot of trust in the administration that of Hunter Yurachek, because they've been very resistant to NIL. Just very resistant to it, very anti-NIL, not wanting to do things the way that they should be done, not wanting to, because Yurachek even said, he's like, we don't want to get into that third lane like these other teams are. And I'm like, no offense, buddy, but John Calipari, I doubt that all these players are coming in for the sake of just a couple of bucks.
Dude, you're reading my mind. I'm like, isn't that basically what they did with Cal?
Yeah, I guess I'm saying Cal ain't coming in here and just being like, oh man, don't worry, I can make this work on a couple of dollars. Like, no, it's a matter of can they get to the point to where they just have people investing and all the companies investing and everyone being on the same page? Because from what I understand is there's just a lot of donors and boosters, and everyone's like, I don't trust this to give up a lot of my money. But then Yurachek's not exactly been, cheerleading, trying to make it happen, because he doesn't like NIL. He doesn't like what it's become. And you've just kind of been sitting back, and this is what it is. So fans just don't have a lot of trust in the current administration to get it done, because it seems like they don't care about football all that much right now.
That's wild. Yeah. I mean, but you're right in that if you look at Lane or Drink or any situation, even look at Dan Mullen at Mississippi State or Mike Leach at Mississippi State, who you referenced a bit ago. Like, you can absolutely lower the floor when you get the right guy in the building. It's been interesting that there's just been a lot of Chad Morris and John L. Smith and, that.
Yeah. That. And that's what everyone's they're like, what difference can be made? Like, how more can we get hurt? Anything's an upgrade at this point, it seems like. But I think that because I felt like Matt, NIL, when it happened, and I'm sure, LSU was already a big dog anyways, but I felt like the greatest thing that could have happened was NIL to get Arkansas to narrow the gap. It wasn't going to get to the point of the LSUs, the Georgias and all that, but that was their chance. And I think other schools took advantage of it when Arkansas did. And now they feel left behind.
Yeah. But the thing is, though, John, like, this has always been my thing with Arkansas. I mean, I know Arkansas has a disadvantage in the state in that it's just not a talent rich state, right? What I say about LSU, the greatest advantage LSU has is the dirt. This is a talent rich state, and LSU is the only Power 4 school. So there are kids that grow up genuflecting at the purple and gold altar. They'll give their arm just to wear that uniform. And Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry, Malik Nabors, Brian Thomas, like all those guys, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, they all grew up an hour from campus. All of them. It's like, what? All of them. This is just a weird place where you just got a crap load of football talent, and they all grew up wanting to go to LSU. So it's the advantage you have. But you look at SMU, Texas Tech, look at programs that Georgia Tech, Vanderbilt, Indiana, like, you get the right guy and the right investment, and you can win anywhere. And I've always looked at Arkansas and I've gone, like, Walmart, Tyson Chicken, Jerry Jones, FedEx. I'm going, why don't they win? Like, why are they SMU? Why aren't they Texas Tech? Freaking Lubbock, Texas Tech. It's the wildest thing. Like, I'll never understand why in this era Arkansas can't figure that out. Maybe you just answered the question, which is why I wanted to press on a little bit, just because it's one of those schools where I go, if there was a school in the SEC that wanted to do it, they could do it. They could do it.
Yep. And I think that, the John Calipari thing is showing, hey, because why is that done? It's John Tyson. And I remember talking to one of the Tyson relatives when Calipari got hired. I was like, man, no, nicely done. He goes, are you kidding me? This was worth $1 billion in marketing, because every time John Calipari got mentioned, it's like, hey, John Tyson, he's the one, he's the guy. Tyson chicken, the stock went up. Everyone was buying those Razorback nuggets like crazy. It's like that. That's what makes it exciting. So yeah, I think every fan, Razorback fans, with you. Where again, we know that, as you said, it's not a talent rich state as far as that goes, but with the NIL, with a portal, with just, making it work. And I don't even think Razorback fans are asking for much other than just, hey, be relevant, win 8 games on occasion, 9 games on occasion. But instead, it's just been going with the motions. There's no juice. There's no excitement to the football program here. But I guess maybe that's what will change here, depending on who this coach goes. But
who do you think they hire? Who does Arkansas hire?
I mean, right now where I'm standing, I'm hoping for a James Franklin. However, because nothing ever goes the way I want it. I think that they end up, which is not a bad hire, but I think that they end up with someone like a Ryan Silverfield or an Alex Golish type of hire, like a group of 5 coach, which could end up working out. But I mean, James Franklin would be the one that would definitely inject the juice here the most.
Yeah. Everyone asks about LSU, and I don't know. I mean, I know Kiffin will be their number 1 target, but if they don't land him, I mean, I've heard Drinkwitz, John, he's making $9 million at Missouri. You really want to pay Eli Drinkwitz $10, $11 million a year? I'm like, for a guy that can't beat ranked teams, the most artificially inflated record ever. They load up with 4 garbage non-conference games. He goes 5-3 in the league, loses to all the ranked teams. They win a bowl game against a team with a bunch of opt-outs. 10 wins. No, you stink. You don't beat anybody good. That would be disgusting to me.
Yeah.
I would love John Summerall from Tulane, but dude, there's so many people in Louisiana, like Old Guard, they're like, oh, you can't hire the Tulane coach, which is stupid. It's so stupid, because I think he may end up at Auburn, and I think that would be an awesome hire.
I think
fascinating, man. If they don't land Kiffin, what direction they go? You hear some Joe Brady here, but it sounds like he's going to be an NFL head coach. Why would he come back to college? So it might be something similar, man, where you end up in the Ogeron situation, man. You end up promoting Frank Wilson.
Yeah. Well, or hey, Bobby Petrino's probably going to be available here soon. So if you guys
not okay with that, probably not going to be a thing that they're going to do. So
just throwing it out there, Matt.
Yeah.
Well,
you want to pick the game?
Yeah, but before we go, I'll go ahead and knock it out of what I think it's going to be. This Arkansas LSU game is, again, drunk game, early morning game. Nobody cares. But Arkansas is still going to lose by 1 possession until I'm proven otherwise. So I think that LSU wins this game by a final score 48-45.
There's no shot, stupid. John. Listen to me, and I love you dearly. Let's make some type of wager. If LSU scores 48, I will do karaoke with you at Media Days next year. How about that?
Deal. Absolute deal.
And if they don't score 48, you have to buy me that pink shirt that you wore.
Man, okay, double deal. Yeah, I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it.
Okay.
I just, again, you wait. Arkansas is going to find a way. Their defense sucks. So, but yeah,
what do you think, Dan? But I also know LSU can't score. So that bad on bad when LSU has the football is going to be fascinating. Dude, I was going to pick Arkansas, but now you kind of have me convinced maybe LSU might find a way to win this game.
You sure how it goes?
This is going to be so sad.
It is.
I'm not prepared, John. I'm not prepared to make a pick yet. Okay, you picked LSU. I'll pick LSU then. What did you say by a score?
48-45.
All right, give me 28-25. But there's no way LSU's holding Arkansas to 25 points unless if they fumble 16 times, which they might. Okay, 28-20. You know what? Here you go, John. 28-25 LSU.
Perfect. It'll be the most
actually, by the time we get to my show on Friday on radio, I'm probably going to end up picking Arkansas.
Oh, there you go. Well, 25 points would be a very Arkansas score. Just why? Nobody scores 25, but Arkansas would find a way. But hey, it should be. Let's just hope it's a fun one. It's not going to be, but let's just hope and pray, and hopefully, we just move past this, and whoever gets the golden boot can run over there and get it. Whatever. Who cares? But
nobody's running to get the boot.
No, it's going to be a slow jog, if anything. Yeah. But either way, it's going to be awesome. So if anybody's out there, any Razorback fans, be sure to follow all things LSU in case you're interested in that. And their coach, Matt Moscona, does a great job with Locked On LSU and covering all things. And Matt, tell everybody where they can find you, not only with the podcast, but everywhere else.
Just spell my name. You'll find me. I'm everywhere. I'm omnipresent, John. I'm on every platform. Matt Moscona. I'm easy to find.
Yeah, that's kind of
I'm
how
usually yelling about Bama, red-faced, angry, sweating, lots of insults. I really need Alabama to lose to Oklahoma this week. That would make me happy. Oklahoma beating Alabama would make me happier than LSU beating Arkansas.
That's where we're at, man. Because I'm with you too. I would love to see Alabama lose to Oklahoma. Let's just hope for other teams to have fun instead of our teams.
My pink shirt, John. Size large.
Guess we'll find out. But that's Matt Moscona and John Nabors, Locked On Razorbacks. You can find me at John Nabors Show wherever you can find any social media. It's there. But Matt, as always, man, appreciate you. We'll be catching up soon.
You the man.